I would like to say hello and thank you to Amanda Paradine for joining us today. She is a career coach with 20 years experience in HR, and she has kindly agreed to join us today to give us some advice on how we could take back some control in this current difficult times that we find ourselves in. Amanda will touch upon how we can take action, identify some of our key strengths, and identify to us some of the key industries that are thriving at the moment, and how we can constructively job search and find a job that kind of balances with our capabilities and also meets with our requirements in terms of our family life. So we just give our participants a couple more minutes to join. So whilst we're waiting for them to join, Amanda, do you want to give us some background in relation to your career to date? And
yeah, thank you. Thanks. I'm really pleased you've invited me here today. It's a pleasure to be involved in this. I think it's a really great initiative. So hopefully this will be useful today. But just to give you a little bit of background about me, as Imi said, my background is in human resources. So I had a career that spanned over 20 years. I specialised in recruitment for a lot of that time. But about 4 years ago, I wanted to change the balance of my life a bit. I was working full time. I was a single mum at the time as well. And I just wanted a slightly different work-life balance, to feel less stressed and to really do a job where I was using my natural strengths and skills and actually enjoying what I was doing. There were parts of my career I'd loved, but parts of my job that I absolutely hated and really didn't sit well with me, felt really uncomfortable. So I decided to set up on the side while I was working a career coaching business, so helping people who were feeling a bit stuck for whatever reason, or had been made redundant, or were looking for a new job, help them to find something that was going to suit them, even if they had absolutely no idea what that thing was. So I find I work with people now who are perhaps wanting a career change, maybe have had a really successful career up to date, but are now thinking, I'd like to do something else, but I'm just not sure what. I work with people who've been made redundant and help them rebuild confidence, self-esteem, and also help people to see that as a bit of an opportunity to maybe look at doing something slightly different. That maybe, you know, we've all heard it, haven't we, how redundancy was maybe the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'd have never have done X, Y, or Z had that not happened. So a lot of my work is actually helping build people's confidence, their self-belief, helping them realise what they're capable of, and as well as being a career coach, I'm an NLP practitioner, which for those of you that may not have come across that, it's neuro-linguistic programming, which is all about how we communicate both with ourselves and others, and how we can actually really change our experience of life and how we see experiences, things that happen to us, by the way we talk to ourselves and the way we talk to other people as well. So I incorporate NLP techniques into my work. So I like to be quite holistic when I'm working with people, and career and job is one aspect of someone's life, obviously, but it touches on so many other areas. If you're not happy at work, or if you're feeling anxious, or you've been made redundant, we all know it spills out into other areas of life as well. So I'm very aware of that when working with people. So today, as Imi said, we're going to be talking a little bit about how to identify what is going to make you happy, and how you can put in place an action plan, whether you're changing work now, you're looking for a job now, whether you're redundant or furloughed, whatever your situation, whatever your reasons for joining today or watching this on replay, then hopefully there'll be something here that you can take away and put into practice.
So Amanda, how do we take control at the moment, and how do we manage our feelings in this really challenging time? a lot of the people that will be attending today may have been furloughed. Some will have transitioned to home working overnight. Others may have been made redundant or facing dismissal from work, and all the permutations that come with that. And then at the end of that, trying to find a job at this time.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it is. Unprecedented is a word we're using a lot at the moment, but let's talk about that. If you, those of you that are watching now, if you feel free to pop into the chat kind of what your situation is, whether you're on furlough or if you're looking for something right now, or you've been made redundant, feel free to share your situation, as then I can kind of help target my advice for you. But if you're feeling at the moment anxious or stressed or worried, maybe, if you transition to working from home overnight, maybe you're actually feeling a bit bored at home, maybe you're feeling a bit frustrated, maybe it's making you think about, actually, what do I really want to do? So maybe you're in a situation where your role is pretty safe, but actually this time is giving you some time to reflect on what you might really want to do. But if you are in that space of feeling very anxious, feeling very worried, feeling very stressed, I'm sure lots of you will have heard of the fight or flight response, the stress response that our bodies have when we're faced with something that we perceive as a threat. And not having enough money, not being able to pay the bills potentially is a massive threat. And quite rightly, our body responds accordingly. And we can panic, we could freeze, we could, the cortisol levels start to rise. So then it physically starts to affect us as well. But making decisions from that place of panic is not a great idea. And I know the first response often when someone hears they've been made redundant, your job is at risk, or they feel that their job is at risk, is to go into panic mode and to just panic. And actually the best thing to do is just to press pause for a moment, to pause and just give yourself some time just to naturally calm down. So if you do feel yourself really starting to get very anxious and panicking, then a top tip from me is to practice just a mindful minute. So that's literally for 1 minute. If you're feeling really anxious, you're feeling very stressed, just to have 1 minute where you're focusing solely in on your breathing. And you could time yourself on your phone or on your watch, and just focus in on the in-breath and the out-breath, just to calm yourself right down in that moment. And the other thing I would say is, if you are feeling like that, is to be kind to yourself. Do you know what? It's okay to lie on the sofa and eat a packet of biscuits and binge on Netflix if that's what you feel you need. But you don't want to get stuck there. You don't want to end up wallowing long term, because it's much more difficult to come back from that. So what I would say is, recognize how you're feeling, allow yourself to feel how you're feeling, whether that's anxious, worried, stressed, and then be kind to yourself. So say to yourself, it's okay that I feel like this. Your feelings are absolutely valid. It's a scary time. It's okay that I'm feeling like this. Give yourself what you need, but also know what makes you feel good. So if you are a runner, if you know that getting out in a run, especially with this beautiful weather that we've got at the moment, if that's something that makes you feel good, go and do it. If getting lost in a really great book is something that makes you feel good, do that. So be aware of what you personally need, both physically and emotionally. So if you are in that space of anxiousness, worried, stress, are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating the right things? So all of those very basic things that we know we need are even more important when we are in that space of feeling stressed or anxious. So if you can not make any major decisions when you're feeling like that, that's probably a good idea, because we don't make decisions well when we're in that panic, fight or flight response. And then practice a bit of self-care, look after yourself, be kind to yourself, and then start thinking about ways in which you could start to take some control. feel better, feel calmer, and maybe not feel like you're being swept along on a tide, that actually you can start taking control of the reins. Whatever happens, you're in control of you and what you decide to do next. Although it doesn't always feel like that, we've always got some control, we've always got options, albeit they might not be options we like all of them, but we always have options, and we're always in control.